What's up, everybody? Welcome to Sports Talk, where we make sports a reality. And today we have a couple topics to go over. And this is our first video, so we're kind of late. We're kind of late. We wish we could get to it quicker. But we got some NBA season predictions, the James Harden situation, which is a big deal. LeBron's health, yeah, my guy LeBron, and that's pretty much it. So we got our notes right here. We're going to get started. So let's get straight into the video. We're not going to let y'all wait much longer, so let's get started. Okay, the NBA season predictions. Who do y'all have for the NBA season? Go ahead, Joseph.
All right, so I was looking at both Eastern and Western Conference, and I started with the West. And, the Lakers obviously was the number one seed last year, and they won a championship. And I was looking around, seeing if any teams made any moves to really, move to the number one seed. And teams improved, but I don't think they improved enough to get past the Lakers, because the Lakers improved as well. The move to get Dennis Schroeder and Trez Harrell, that was for me, it made me even more impressed by the Lakers and their chances of getting number one again. So in the West, I got to go with the Lakers. And in the East, the Bucks getting Drew Holiday. I feel like that keeps them at number one as well.
All right, go ahead, Eldridge.
I would say me, for the West, I'm picking the Lakers right now. Like you said, Montrezl Harrell and everybody else. But in the East, though, I'm going with the Nets because of Kyrie and KD.
Okay. I gotta talk about that.
And truthfully, I think, or possibly Philly, because if they get James Harden, for sure, I'm going with Philly. But we'll see how that goes.
All right, well, this is going to be interesting. So I actually picked the Lakers as well from the West. The predicted wins and losses that I have for them is 60 and 22. I think this team is a dynasty. Any team that LeBron has is a sure dynasty, if you ask me. If you look at back, 7 straight years, of making the NBA Finals. So any team that you add LeBron on is going to be a sure Eastern Conference, Western Conference Finals maker. They got KCP, averaged 9 points per game, 2.3 rebounds. Not that much rebounds, but he could do better in that aspect. But when you get 4 years, 4 years, 40 million, you should step your game up. So right, step the game up. Then they added Dennis Schroeder. 18 points per game, 4 assists. Yeah. I think when LeBron is sitting down and he's relaxing, Harold and Dennis Schroeder is going to carry some of that weight. Keep in mind, 18 points per game. I got him scoring at least 23 points per game. You may call me biased, but I think he's going to average that. Montrezl Harrell, 18 points per game and 7 rebounds. The defending 6th man of the year. This team is stacked, ladies and gentlemen. Plus Kyle Kuzma, a solid 12.8 per game, 12.8 points per game. He's only going to go up. And you obviously have Anthony Davis. I think he was an MVP candidate. 26.1 points per game, 9.8 rebounds per game, 2.3 blocks, and I'm not done yet. 1.5 steals. The guy is a beast. And he signed a 5-year, $190 deal max. And of course, the GOAT, LeBron James. 25.3 points per game, 10.2 assists, 7.8 rebounds. And the guy's a beast. And he can prove that he can do it defensively with 1.2 steals.
Right.
Well, I'm not going to disagree with anything that you said about the Lakers, but I have to disagree with Eldridge because he said that he thinks that the Nets have a chance at making the number one seed, and I can't agree with that for a multitude of reasons. Number one, KD, as much as we love him, we don't know what he's going to play like coming back this year off of that injury.
You're right.
Number two, Kyrie Irving. I feel like Kyrie, just in terms of his personality, I feel like he's the type of dude who's going to end up destroying the Nets locker room. And lastly, I want to mention the fact that the James Harden trade rumors, if they end up trading for James Harden, number one, who's dribbling the damn basketball? Right. Number two,
and I gotta.
They also gonna have to trade away their whole bench to get Harden.
Right. Really, and somebody, even when I get what you're saying now, because if they get James Harden though, somebody gonna have to go, and it's obviously gonna be Kyrie. And then basically you gonna have to, and then one of your centers, or
they're not trading Kyrie.
You don't think they'll trade Kyrie?
I think it'd be. I think it'd be Dennis Schroeder, Jared Allen, Karis LeVert, all of they key bench
Yeah,
pieces.
that's what I was saying. Basically, like your whole
Dennis Schroeder's on the Lakers.
Right.
I mean, not
and
Dennis Schroeder.
DeAndre Jordan. But that's your actually, what's his name? Man, I got myself messed up now.
All right, well,
Karis,
I
Spencer
gotta say
Dinwiddie,
something.
they got to go.
I think I disagree with you when you said the 76ers. If you ask me, they brought in what's his name? They brought in Doc Rivers. And Doc Rivers is a great coach if you ask me. You see what he did with the 2008 Boston Celtics and made that a hard-nosed, scrappy team, which led them to the 2008 NBA Finals, and they won the finals. But I think with me is they don't have a true star and playmaker. Embiid, he can go out there and average 27 a night, but then when it's crunch time, he's going to go out there and average 18. All the greats, they don't come out there and average 18 points per game in key moments. They're going to go out there and score 40, 30. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like in that situation, you have to acknowledge that they don't have a star. Plus Ben Simmons, he can score a little bit, he can pass the ball, he can rebound, but he is not a certified scorer. And if you ask me, on that team, you cannot look around and say, okay, where is the scorer at? You cannot go out there and you cannot pick out a scorer. You can't do that. When they had Jimmy Butler, maybe, and they got rid of Jimmy Butler, and Jimmy Butler wasn't the problem. So until they figure that out, I think they're a mediocre fifth place at best.
I get what you're saying. It's a good team. It's a lot of talent, but another thing, I feel like they lack a lot of experience though too. But I think that I feel like Doc Rivers can actually make them go far in the playoffs though.
Oh, and another thing, I'm gonna let you talk, Joseph, but they don't have any shooters around them. They got rid of JJ Redick. JJ Redick was a big piece for them because he allowed that 3-point shot. You look at the game of basketball, you need 3-point shooters. It's not a mid-range game anymore. Ben Simmons can't shoot. Joel Embiid, he's okay. Who do they have that can shoot that 3-point ball, that dead eye?
Just really Tobias Harris, but that's really it.
I think should have stayed in Detroit. But
well, Caleb, when you said about Ben Simmons not really being a scorer like that, I feel like he's an above average scorer, but I felt like we really would have seen it in the playoffs, but he got injured, obviously, so we didn't get a chance to see, him and what they could have did this past playoffs.
Yeah, I like Ben though. Next, we're gonna move on to the James Harden situation. A lot of controversy surrounding this situation. Some say he might go to the 76ers, Miami, the Nets. So what do you guys think about that? Let's start off with Joe.
Well, this Harden situation is hilarious. I don't know if y'all seen it, but he was in a club partying, dancing with some rapper, just not giving an F. I just find that hilarious. Yeah, I just find this whole thing hilarious. He didn't show up to training camp, and it's a big mess right now, and especially with them recently getting John Wall and Boogie Cousins. You would want him to be in training camp so they can get chemistry. Yep, and they're not going to be able to build that because he ain't showing up. So it's a funny situation. I'm keeping my eye on it, and I can't wait to Eldridge.
Truthfully, I agree with a lot you're saying, but even if he do play this season, I don't really see that working out anyway. I think they're probably gonna end up trading him. I really do, but I'm trying to figure out like where he gonna go. Right, where he gonna go? Like, and plus they pay him so much money. How he gonna fit into somebody else's roster? You know what I mean? Yeah. Where they gonna send him to? Who they about to bring out here? It's just, I don't know. It's weird, but I'm really wanting to see what's happening right now,
though. For me, I'm gonna have a lot to talk about with this situation. For me, you look at James Harden career numbers: 25.2 points per game and about 5.3 assists. Right. The last 2 to 3 years, he's averaged about 35 points per game. Right. So you fit him in and you try to trade him to the 76ers. Well, the 76ers are not going to give up their whole bench or Ben Simmons or Joel Embiid to get James Harden. Their whole future for a guy who you don't even know is going to work out because he can't even show up to training camp. and get himself into a position where he's going to go and play for a new team. Because all he's doing is sitting at home, getting fat, getting lazy, and not putting in any work. At least you can do is, put in a little work with John Wall and Boogie Cousins. That's the least you can do, because in my eyes, you don't know if you're really going to get traded, because who wants you? Because like Eldridge said, you have too much money attached to your name. You have a lot of controversy around you, and who's going to trade their whole team? 2, you look at the Nets. They're not going to trade him to the Nets. They're not going to trade Kyrie Irving for James Harden, just because KD, he proved that he can play with stars, right? But James Harden is a different breed. James Harden has a 48.1 points per possession, points per 100 possessions. That's crazy. KD is going to need the ball at some point in time. Those are 2 guys at the end of the day, when it comes down to crunch time in that fourth quarter situation, KD is going to want the ball. James Harden is going to want the ball. The difference is with the Warriors is that the Warriors say, you know what, let me bag out of KD's way. Let me give him the ball, because I know he's going to make those points. You look when they faced the Cavaliers in the finals. KD was coming up the court, feeling himself, pulling jump shots, driving to the basket, pulling up threes from the logo. That's what he does. So if you take that away from him by giving James Harden the ball and having him have the ball, how many minutes per game? It's ridiculous. Nobody wants to play with James Harden, and he needs the ball in his hands. So where is he going to go?
Well, for me, about what you said, I don't think it's necessarily a KD issue, because KD want to score, but I think he would be willing to give Harden the ball. My issue with that trade is, how is him and Kyrie going to work?
You're right.
I don't see that working. They both win a jersey. I don't see that working at all.
Exactly. But what I was saying is, I'm thinking that, hey, they're not going to trade. They have to have a bench, right? You can have a big 3, but at some point in time, they're going to need their rest. So you have to have role players. They're going to have to trade Kyrie Irving, right? If they want something. If they want James Harden, they're going to have to trade Kyrie Irving. Unless you want to give away your whole bench. You get what I'm saying? So that's where that kind of goes in.
And then you got to
trade away Kyrie. If you trade away Kyrie, then KD's mad now.
Right.
Exactly.
Then you got to give it like somebody like, you might have to give it like Jared Allen and like Jared Dudley and stuff. Your best shooter on your bench, really. You know what I mean? So it's like, how that's going to work out for you? You know?
2 vital pieces to that team.
Right. And then you got DeAndre Jordan on the bench. But it's like, even if he go to Philly, you might have to give it like 2 of your stars on there. You know?
Yeah.
Because I just seen on here, I forgot what it was, like on ESPN or something, they said it starts with Ben Simmons. So first you're gonna have to give it Ben Simmons, then you might have to give it like Tobias Harris and somebody else with him.
And what I saw is both teams are saying they don't want to trade James Harden, because they're gonna have to give out so much. So temporarily, right now, it's a no-go.
Right. And for one, you making yourself look bad anyway, not showing up to team practices.
Yeah.
Not going here, not doing this, not doing that.
And I like
why would I want you? Right, I do too. But why would I want you on my team if you just not gonna show up to do this? You ain't gonna do this. You ain't gonna do this. Oh, because you want to be whining and crying because you ain't winning. Now you want to leave, so you gonna make the whole other team suffer. I'm not gonna trade for you then.
Right.
Exactly.
Okay.
All right, go ahead, Joseph.
And then I was looking at ESPN's list of possible trade options. They said Boston possibly giving up Kemba Walker. I wouldn't do that. A team like Denver giving up Bobo and Michael Porter Jr., I wouldn't do that as well. Golden State, but for the most part,
who are you gonna give up?
Like Harden is stuck with,
Right.
So who are you gonna give up?
Wiggins and picks. So I just don't see it working.
I wouldn't even give up Wiggins though, just because Klay Thompson injured though. Because like once he come back, you really got another shooter if he comes back healthy. But it's like
ACL tear, man. He pretty much done for the season.
Well, yeah, he is done for the season. I'm talking about like when he comes back the season, next season later. But because basically you got another shooting guard. Actually, I think Wiggins is gonna be good in the future. I would keep him.
Caleb, but you know what I'm starting to feel like this might be, and Eldridge, this might be a if anybody followed the Detroit Pistons, we traded last year Andre Drummond for basically nothing, a second-round pick, Brandon Knight, and John Henson. So basically, if they might have to move Harden for basically nothing, which would be a shame to giving up that type of player for nothing.
Right. Then they're going to end up just
like OKC. What I feel about that situation with the Pistons is that, if you want to be honest, and this is just my honest opinion, Andre Drummond was soft. He was just soft. And in this city where we're from, in Detroit, you cannot be soft. Even if you live suburban area, the not so great area, you cannot be soft. We got cold weather out here. We auto industry, we're a tough, hard-nosed city. He just didn't fit in. But what I will say with that situation is that doesn't mean trade him for nothing. At least get something out of that. We didn't get anything.
You could have got Colin Sexton, somebody, but that was just a terrible trade. You got an all-star for just two people that you don't, you know what I mean, that really wasn't even playing. You know what I mean? So it's like, come on, man. Yeah, it's terrible.
Now we're going to move on to the next subject. LeBron James' health. In year 17, 18, either one, I feel like this is a vital year for LeBron. He's year 17 out of 18, so 17 or 18, which whenever is it. But this guy, we talked about him last year, and he ended up winning the ring. So how do y'all feel about that?
About his health? Well, apparently the rumors, we all know the rumors about him. He said that he wasn't going to play till about January or February, but those rumors weren't true because a notification I got on my phone earlier today is that he's going to end up playing earlier than we expected. So, as long as he continues to take care of his body and possibly low manage here and there, with even though we have a shortened season, he still might have to low manage coming off of a championship because he tried very hard to get that championship and his body hasn't had the proper rest. He's just going to have to take games off and take care of his body.
How you feel about that, Eldridge?
I think, I truly feel that I think LeBron's still going to have a good season, though. I truly feel that way, though. You know what I mean? Even I wouldn't even be don't play less games. I would say more now that you got Dennis Schroeder and you got Anthony Davis, you got Montrezl Harrell, and you added so many different people and stuff. I feel like really you could take a game off and they could still win though without you though. Cause you know what I mean? Dennis Schroeder could really just play point guard. He could pass the ball. He could, give it to AD, you know what I mean? And then Montrezl Harrell, he'll be like, man, you still got defense and everything else you need. But I feel like play less minutes though. That's what I would do. But I think they're still gonna be good. They're still gonna win.
I would say the games that really don't matter to them. Don't play them. Sit them. They do it already. You've seen it with Kawhi Leonard. You've seen it with LeBron before. This isn't the 90s anymore. But what I will say is LeBron puts $1 million into his body every year. What athlete do you know that puts that much time and effort into their body? It's the reason why he's this age with this with this outcome, right? So you look at LeBron this past season, 25.3 points per game, 7.8 rebounds, 10.2 assists. In year 17, that is great, right? So you look at his usage, right? 33.6, right? His PER, 27.50. When LeBron is sitting on the bench, right? Now, I know this is turning on to something different, but when LeBron is sitting on the bench, right? And people love to talk about LeBron's health and he just won a ring. He just won a Finals MVP. Listen, he should have won the MVP.
Hey, I have a question for that.
Arguably, 1 second.
Even when he on the bench, right? Though, he vocal.
So you gotta pay attention. So when LeBron is not on the court, they average a net of negative 1.8. That's when LeBron is not on the court. They're not per 100 possessions. They're not a good not a great basketball team. When LeBron is on the court, they do better, right? So we keep talking about his health and this. What is that? He just came off.
I have a question for you, Caleb.
Go ahead.
You say he came off of a ring, right?
Yeah.
Who did he beat in the finals? I forgot. Can you remind me who he beat in the finals?
Tough team.
He beat a Jimmy Butler team that if he lost, they would say, "Oh, that's one of the greatest teams of all time," because they went out there and beat a LeBron team and they played very good and they were great the whole year.
I'm just trying to remember because
listen. When people don't understand this, when you make the NBA Finals, you may not be a great team, but you're a good team.
I have a question though. Tyler Hero, weren't they both rookies? Okay, rookies, right? Bam Adebayo, second year. I was just making sure. I was just making sure against those Miami Heat.
He won a ring.
Against the Miami Heat. Those Miami Heat.
He won a ring.
Why y'all ain't saying
that? They have Shaq and D Wade.
We can get into this guy. We already had it, right?
Did they have Shaq and D Wade on the squad? I was just making sure.
LeBron, listen. Michael Jordan played the Supersonics. LeBron. Come on now.
They had the glove.
Michael Jordan, listen. Michael Jordan played the Phoenix Suns, who didn't have a Kevin Johnson. Kevin Johnson averaged 26 points per game that year. He was injured the whole series.
Charles Barkley is one of the greatest two-way players of all time.
But you saying Charles Barkley can't do it Jimmy Butler he averaged 29 points in the finals, 8 rebounds, 10 assists.
I'll give you Jimmy Butler.
And
I'm not going to give you Bam Adebayo versus.
You gotta understand this.
Bam Adebayo, he did good.
You gotta understand this. A team with shooters and role players are one of the most deadliest teams ever, and that's what that team had: shooters and role players. But you know what? Put in the comment section below if you want to see that Michael Jordan versus LeBron debate versus Joe Paulo. Because I'm ready to have that conversation again. I got my notepad right here. I'll start working on it tonight. But let's move into the next subject.
But you know, hold on.
A sleeper team in the NBA. Now, I want to go first for this one. And honestly, I think it's my Detroit Pistons. I think they are a sleeper team to make the playoffs. I don't think a lot of people think that they are going to make the playoffs. But what you got to realize is they did add some talent to the team, plus drafting and Samson. We're not the guy from France. That's what I call him. I don't know how to say his name, but I think they're going to be a playoff team. Probably going to be sneaking in at the 7th, 6th, 8th seed, right? Mm-hmm. Derrick Rose 18.1 points per game, 5.6 assists. If Derrick Rose can do that again, I see them having a solid shot at the playoffs. Blake Griffin only played 18 games last season, but during those 18 games, averaged 15 points. If you get a healthy Blake Griffin, I can see him averaging about 20 to 18 points per game. Those are points that we need. Then you have the guy from France, Samson. I don't know how to say his last name, but he just came off of a game with 23 points. It was against the Knicks, but he's a second-year player. I think he's going to be solid. I think I can see him averaging about 11, 12 points per game. But we have a solid talent core around us. And I think that in a weak East, we can sneak into the playoffs. But if we can sneak into the playoffs, then you got a good coach in Dwayne Casey. So what you think, Eldridge?
What I feel like the New Orleans Pelicans.
Wow.
You wouldn't.
That's it.
Why wouldn't you pick the New?
Well, they have a guy in Zion Williamson who I don't know if he can stay healthy. I gotta see a season out of him. He did finish the season pretty good, but they only have Brandon Ingram. They don't have a star. Zion is good, but the hype around him, I gotta see more from the guy.
But
I like Lonzo Ball. I love Lonzo Ball, but he's not the guy that can go out there and get you 25 points per night. He's not. He's an all-around point guard, though. I like him.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, my issue with the Pelicans is Stan Van Gundy, their new head coach, because the rumors are
Look
that
what he did with us.
The rumors are that he wants to move Lonzo Ball to the 2 and put Zion at the 3. So he's already starting on some weird matchup BS. But the thing that I want, the team that I had was a sleeper. It's the Phoenix Suns. Recently, with them getting Chris.
Before you finish, just a question. Why would you move a true point to the 2?
Right.
Because he's tall enough and he's a very good defender. I don't get it.
Yes.
But yeah, my team was the Phoenix Suns because they went 8-0 in the bubble. They almost made the playoffs and showed that they really had something. And then they traded for Chris Paul. And with the combination of D-Book, Chris Paul, Mikal Bridges, DeAndre Ayton, I feel like that team is going to make the jump to the playoffs.
I wish they could have found a way to trade for Chris Paul without trading Kelly Oubre. I really like that. I like the key.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, that's it for Sports Talk today. Ladies and gentlemen, comment in the comment section below what you want to see next from this YouTube channel. What you want to see. Do you want to see weekly updates? Do you want to see more videos like these? Do you want to see videos on the Lions, the Detroit Pistons?
Your favorite team.
Do you want to see college football? Do you want to see weekly debates? What do you want to see? Comment in the comment section below. And peace.